YouTube, what's good? It's Cozy in here, and I hope you all doing great. The beat you hear is a little bit more dark and a creepy beat, and yeah, I would say let's get straight into it. Let's go. So I started this beat with this little pattern here, basically with this little melody. It's a pad from Analog Lab called Filter Sweep. So I only started with the three notes, so listen to that. So basically I only started with the three notes, so listen to that. Then I added a little top line, always a high note. Then I added some bass notes. To give it more room and darkness. And at every fourth bar, to spice it up a little bit, I added some breakdown that the melody slides a little bit downwards, and it sounds like that. And at the end of the eighth bar I made that. So this is basically only the pattern. Yeah, I very like that, and after that I rendered the melody out and added some halftime to it. That sounds like that. So basically what the halftime does, it's playing the upper melody now in a halftime speed, so slower, and what the halftime does, it's first bar right here needs to be played in this bar right here too, but at the section of here, somehow here, playing slower, and here at the end it must bring everything in this last section, so it sounds very chopped up. So here you listen to that, you can hear it's just putting everything right into it in the end. After that I chopped the sample up. Then what I basically did was hear what sounds good together. For example, I could play this first, then this in the second place, and yeah, I chopped it up how I wanted it to sound. Just an example, because I don't remember how I chopped it up. And then after that, this is the final chopped up melody, and I pitch it up 100 semitones without effects right now. You can hear these high loud sounds at the end of every bar. So I wanted to sound it chopped up so that people know I chopped it up, because it gives a little bit more of texture and crunch to it. But my first effect is a little EQ. I boosted these high mids and tucked down these mids a little bit, and I put a low end on it so that the bass is not too hard on it, and it sounds like that with an EQ. And without an EQ. So you hear how the sample comes more to life. After that I added some UAD compression, just to make the sample more louder and to give it more crunch. After that I added some UAD stereo chorus. It sounds like that. I used the modulation mode 1 and 2, and together it sounds very nice. So if you listen with headphones, it gives more life and room to the sample. After that I used some distortion from the UAD 12 analog machines, and in the moment it's really my favorite distortion plugin. So here you got all these presets, some sweeten, some edge, some blow. I use this warm distortion just to give it more crunch and to give it more room and warm. So listen to the difference it makes, so without distortion. Listen to the difference. More rich and analog sound. Yeah, I very like that. I skipped this right now, but after that I use some reverb, some round reverb, just to give it more room, bring the sample more to life. After that I added some Ampex master tape just to glue the sample more together. Preset is called Vintage Punch and Glue, so a little bit more of saturation and distortion and some glue, so basically to glue the sample more together. So that's a very good plugin, and after that I added some live dynamic stereo just to make the sample louder and to give it more room. So and then I added this waterfall rotary speaker. So what it basically does is it gives your melody a brand new sound, and it also spins all around on your headphones and so, and sounds like that. So I really liked how it sounds, but I wanted that only as an intro, so I made a few automation clips. I made the first automation clip here right now is for the rotary speaker, and it goes until here, now the beat began. So this is the intro basically, and then I added another EQ, and it's only active when the 808 starts playing, because with those low ends, what the first EQ shows here, the 808 and the sample would clash together. So if you listen with headphones, you can hear it very loud, so it sounds like that. You can hear these vibrations, and that's not good. But with the EQ, with the automation clip I made, so it's active at the section when the 808 comes in, it sounds like that. Very clean and loud 808, a very kicking 808. So I got for the intro the waterfall without the EQ, and I made the sample a little bit quieter. Yeah, this is basically the intro. So as a nicer transition from the first melody to the second melody without the rotary speaker, I made a little bit of curve in this automation clip, so it gives a little bit of more transition. Then I made only an 808 playing for 16 bars, so and to give a little bit of more texture to the melody, I added two of these arps here. And I pitched that one down an octave to give it more room. To that I added this automation clip here, so that's something for the volume, so that the ARP doesn't play all the time, so it glides up with the volume and then again down, up and down, so it gives a little bit more of curve to it. So listen to that. That sounds with the melody, so. And I basically did the ARP like that. I used this pulsating preset here in Synology, and I activated the ARP mode in my MIDI keyboard, and so it sounds like that. That's basically it. And I added first, as always, an EQ, just to cut out a little bit of the highs and the lows, and to tuck down the mids a little bit. After that I added some compression, just to make the sound more loud and full. After that I added some dynamic stereo. I think you can hear the difference, it makes it all louder and cleaner. After that I added again some saturation, some master tape vintage crunch. And again some stereo chorus. It brings the arp on the peak more to life and makes it sound nicer. After that I added some halftime again, but just to let it play a little bit deeper, so that the low frequencies are used too. If I hear it now, I think it's better without the halftime. It sounds a little bit more clean because the low end is not that harsh. And on the sample, on the melody before, it's a lot of low end because of that. Yeah, I panned the arp to the right, but every single arp of them I panned to the left and right so that there's more room for the arp. So this is basically the melody. I didn't have much elements for the melody, but I think it's enough. If you listen to that. So if you listen to that, I think that's enough and it sounds dark enough. And for the intro, I thought some 808 entrance is very nice. So what I did was playing some 808 alongside of the intro sample. So this is my first pattern of the 808. It's more, there are more long notes and less notes than a real pattern because it's more better for an intro and darker. But then when the drums are hitting, I switched up the pattern and you can see these are more shorter notes, so it hits better. For effects I added on my 808 is as an EQ, I put low pass on the 808, some dynamics, some hit harsh, so the 808 hits more. So listen to the difference it makes without effects. It's overlapping, I hope that doesn't blow your speakers, but if you listen to that, it's very more glued together with the melody and sounds better with the melody. I added again some master crunch, some vintage bass and the limiter. So I side chained the kick with the 808, but to that I will come in a second. Yeah, this is the final 808. It's very loud, it's very hitting, but not too much. And I added again on my master soft clipper. It's very important so the 808 isn't clashing. It isn't clashing, it's clipping. So now I will come to my drums. So this is my 808 pattern. So it's very bouncy, it's very repetitive, but it's important that you leave some gaps between those 808s so it is more stopping and it gives a little bit more of groove and bounce to the 808, because if it's playing all the way, it doesn't give the bounce as it should. And this is the kick I added. Blended together, it sounds a little bit better, I think. So listen to that. So if you listen now, you can see here I sidechained the kick to my spin 808. It's looking like that. So those purple frequencies you see, this is where the kick is louder than the 808, so the 808 is getting tucked down so that the kick can shine more and punch more through the 808 in the mix, so it's hitting more. Then we'll come to my hi-hats, and I layered my hi-hats, and here I got some basic two-step with a more acoustic hi-hat. Then I got another hi-hat that's more hitting and sharp. And here I added a lot of rolls and percussion to it. So if you listen to that all together, it sounds very good. Then I layered my snare too. This is my first snare, just so that the snare can give a little bit more of punch. This is more of a short snare, and here's my other snare with some reverb on it. Yes, and after that I added a little percussion. Nothing special, and I added another percussion, a little hit 3 times. That gives a little bit more of rhythm and bounce to it. And to that I added just a little riser and a little transition. So yeah, just more for the ear candy and it can hit more. I also added the limiter from my kick to the transition part, to this little transition here. Because so it's very loud and so the kick can bias more through the mix, so listen to that. I added here another little breakdown so that the beat can breathe a little and give it some rest. Then added some hi-hats and snare just to give the groove a little bit more. And here I'm coming to my second hook, just as the intro. Yes, I think it's very important in the end to give a little bit more of a chill vibe and an outro. I just let the R play alongside nothing, so it's a little bit more chill and not so intense outro. Yeah, let's listen to the intro. Let's do the difference. Bro, I like that. Yeah, so just what I need to say is I love these distortion plugins, so listen to the difference it makes on my synth. So here without the distortion and with distortion. The distortion added so much crunch and presence to the beat, that's amazing. Yeah guys, thank you all for watching, I appreciate that a lot and I'll see you in the next video.